Hello and welcome to part 2 of Bread Workshop. Today we will learn two different types of recipes. One which will be healthy multigrain bread and second will be Domino's style cheesy garlic bread. Before we dive into recipes, I am Kishan Hindocha, आपका अपना क्रेजी शेफ किशन और आई होप आप लोगों को फर्स्ट पार्ट जहाँ पे हमने सारे इक्विपमेंट्स देखे वो सारे आपको पसंद आए होंगे and you must have ordered it for yourself to make this delicious breads. So today's lecture will be little bit longer but I don't want to waste your time, so we'll directly dive into the recipes. First, we will bind the dough of healthy multigrain bread, and then followed by that, we will bind the dough of cheesy garlic bread. So let's dive into the recipes. Okay, so before we bind our healthy multigrain bread dough, I will show you all the ingredients which we will be using to make our multigrain bread. Where first I have taken whole wheat flour. It will give main structure to our bread, and because of the gluten protein present in whole wheat flour, it will give that elastic stretchy effect to bread and it will help our bread to rise. The next ingredient I have over here is ragi. It does not have gluten in it, but it will provide a distinct flavor, brown color and nutritious value to our multigrain bread. Then here I have oats. We will not directly use this broken oats in our dough, but first we will soak it in hot water. Once it has swollen with hot water, we will drain it and then we will incorporate in our dough, which will help our dough stay moist for longer period of time and also add nutritious value to our dough. Next ingredient which I will be using is milk. I am using 1/4 part of milk for the recipe to activate yeast, and I will also add honey to this so yeast can easily get activated. If you want to bind whole dough with milk, you can use completely milk to bind dough, but here I will be using just small amount of milk to start the binding process and then I will complete my dough with water. Next ingredient I have is yeast. Yeast will be the main ingredient which will help our bread to rise because it will eat on our honey and warm milk. It will get activated and it will release carbon dioxide in our bread, which will help our bread to rise. As this bread is a healthier version, I am not using sugar but I will be using honey, so it will be more healthier as well as it will provide sweetness to yeast to get activated. Then here I have salt. Salt will do two things to our dough. One, it will give good flavor to our dough. It will make our bread complete, and second, it will also help in controlling the yeast carbon dioxide production, so our bread doesn't get over fermented and does not break out when we bake it. Last ingredient which I will be using is butter. You can also use oil. This is a part of for adding fat into our bread so it stays moist for longer period of time and it gives a good taste to our bread. You can use equal amount of oil or butter for this recipe. You can take the screenshot as I shared earlier of all the ingredients, but I will just quickly let you know what is the quantity of all the ingredients which I will be using over here. Here I have taken 100 grams of flour, 20 grams of broken oats, 30 grams of ragi loaf, 50 grams of 50 ml of milk, 25 grams of butter, 2.5 grams of yeast, half tablespoon of honey and 2.5 grams of salt. So we'll mix all this and make our healthy multigrain dough. But there is a different stepwise procedure to make our multigrain bread dough. First of all, I will soak our oats in hot water so it gets swollen and it does not interrupt with our gluten formation. If you guys have doubt that what is gluten, then let me tell you, gluten is a type of protein available in dough. It's not available in all types of dough, but you can find it in rye loaf, whole wheat flour, atta and all-purpose flour as well. It's a type of protein which gets elasticy when you make a dough with water or milk. In any of the liquid medium, when you make dough and knead it properly, gluten is formed and it is like a stretchy web-like structure. So when yeast is present in our dough, yeast releases carbon dioxide and the protein gluten strands get stretched out and it rises our dough, and when we bake it that strands get dried out and it holds its shape over there itself. So this was the brief explanation on the gluten. If you have any doubts, you can comment down and I will help you solve your query. Now here I have oats ready and I will add hot water into it and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. Just enough amount of water until it gets soaked. We will just wait for 10 to 15 minutes. I will just cut the soaking part so we can move on to our recipe quickly. Until our oats get soaked, let's put our yeast into activation. And how we will do that is, we will take our milk. If you want to make completely dough with water, you can also take lukewarm water. I am here using milk for the some part, and then I will completely do with water. So I will take milk. It is in lukewarm condition. I have warmed it up in a microwave for around 10 to 15 seconds. Then here I have honey, which I will add into our milk, which will help our yeast to get activated quickly. Because yeast feeds upon sweetness. You can use sugar as well if you are just making simple bread dough recipe, which I will show you in our next bread dough recipe, which is regular our flour bread, where we will be making dough for our cheesy garlic bread. Okay, so once our milk and honey is mixed, I will add yeast into it and let it sit for a few minutes. Just light stir. Now yeast is also setting up and getting activated. By then we will take our flour and mix ragi loaf into it and salt. Whisk a little bit so it all gets mixed properly. If you want to make bigger bread or more buns, you can just multiply the complete recipe by 2 times, 3 times or 4 times. If you are working in the machines, you can multiply it by 4 times and directly use machines and follow these steps which I am showing you right now. Now let's take a bigger bowl. Take our dry ingredients first in it. Then add our soaked oats. Make sure it's not too hot, or else when you add yeast to it, yeast will die and it will not help us rise our dough. So first we will just mix it slowly with the moisture of oats, soaked oats. Now we will slowly add our yeast mixture. If you are making it for the selling purposes, I would suggest to use hand gloves. Here I am just gonna consume it for myself only, so I'm just mixing my dough with my hands itself. But if you are into professional baking and if you are selling these breads, I would highly recommend that maintain your hygiene and use gloves before making the dough. And if you are working with the machineries, then it's completely fine. You can use bigger spatulas to scrape off the dough from the sides of the machines. Okay, dough has almost formed, but we need to knead it little more so gluten is formed properly. But I still feel there is a small amount of space for water available, so I'm just going to add little amount of water and mix it. You must have seen this bottle of pouring water in my Amazon Live. If you have not seen it yet, you can check out the link in caption and order one for yourself. It makes your work very easier when you are making dough or something, and you don't have to use different measuring cups or anything. You can just directly open the mouth and start pouring. Okay, so dough has completely come together. We will now take the dough on our marble table and knead it properly for 2 to 3 minutes. Because it's small portion, we will just need to knead for 2 to 3 minutes. I will show you how the gluten looks once gluten is formed in our dough. Stretch it, again pull it together. This process is very important because this will help the formation of gluten in our bread. If the dough is under kneaded, then your bread will not rise. It will be thick and dense loaf. And if you overdo it, then also it's a chance that it will rise properly. But once it is baked, it will sunk down. So your bread will not be in proper consumable quality. We just need to find it enough that the gluten is properly formed and not breaking out. Let's see if gluten is formed or not. Just take a small part of dough, then make a ball of it, and then we will start stretching it. If we are able to see the web-like structure, means it is a dough gets stretchy, then it's ready. But here see dough is breaking, so that means we just need to knead it for 2 to 3 minutes more. If required, at this stage also you can add small amount of water. Dough should feel soft and stretchy at the same time. The proof that the dough is going in proper way, that it's not sticking too much to my hand. Once it will be properly kneaded, it will not stick at all on my hands. That's also a good sign of gluten being formed and your dough getting ready for first proofing. We will proof it in two ways or two parts, in the same way which we do for our regular breads. This bread will also need two proofings. First proofing, then we will knock it down, then again proof it in the mold itself, and then put it in baking directly. Feels like it's almost done. Just another 25 to 30 seconds and our dough will be ready. The understanding of dough formation comes with the practice, so don't worry if the very first time you need get confused that if your dough is ready or not. Have some patience and go slow and keep checking if the gluten is formed or not. Okay, you can see the dough is not sticking at all, so it's almost done. Now again we will take a small piece of the dough, then slowly start stretching it. You can see web-like structure forming. It's not breaking very easily. With the structure will be little lesser in this one. See, the part is stretching properly. You can see the strands. See, that's the perfect understanding that the dough is ready. Okay, and when we will be making our next dough, that is for the cheesy garlic bread, it will have more stretching part. It will almost not break apart because it will have more gluten. Here we have added small amount of ragi into it, oats into it, so the formation will be less, but gluten will be surely formed. Okay, now I will just stretch it apart and add our fat into it. Here I will take soft butter, just rub it on all the sides. So what happens is that your butter goes inside all the gluten strands, and when we will bake it, it will rise again. So all the butter goes into each gluten strand and stays there. So when you will be eating the bread, you will have that creamy mouth feel of buttery taste on your bread, and it will be very good in taste. You can also use oil for the same, but I generally prefer butter because it gives the fine crumb and holds the shape of the bread for a longer period of time. Just knead it for another 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, and your dough will again come together, and you can put it for the first fermentation. You can use this scraper which I showed you in the previous Amazon Live. If it's sticking on the marble table, you can just pull it together with this scraper, or you can use any of this scraper. Our dough is completely ready. Now we'll lock the bottom of the dough so it doesn't have air pockets where air can leave, and top side is also smooth. So when we will put it into the fermentation, it will rise and not break apart, or air will be captured inside the dough. So I will put it in the same bowl which we needed. You can use small amount of fat or oil on the base, so when you just remove it, doesn't break apart. And then put a thin cloth on it and spray some water in it so the moisture gets retained in our dough and it does not dry out when it is proofing. Sometimes you might have seen that dough gets the thick layer on the top of it. It is because of drying of the dough. So just put a thin cloth completely on the top, and you can just spray small amount of water which will retain the moisture in the bowl, and it will not get dry on the top. So now I will just put it for the fermentation. It will take around 1 hour and 1.5 hours. Then we will knock it down and then put it for another fermentation. Until our multigrain healthy bread ferments, we will start binding our next dough, that is for cheesy garlic bread. So let's dive into that recipe. Now we will move forward and bind our dough for Domino style cheesy garlic bread. We will make similar to Domino style and also give our signature touch. So first I will show you all the ingredients which we will need to make our dough. Here I have taken 300 grams of flour, which will give our main structure to a bread which has gluten, so it will react with yeast and give stretchy structure and rise our dough and make it soft. Then here I have sugar. It will help yeast to get activated, and it will help in giving that little sweetness to our dough. Then here I have taken 40 ml of milk, which will be lukewarm, so we will add sugar and yeast in it, so yeast can get activated. And once yeast gets activated, as I explained earlier, it will release carbon dioxide, and due to the formation of gluten on our bread dough, carbon dioxide will get trapped in dough and it will rise our dough, so we will have soft dough of flour. Then I have yeast. I have taken yeast in 6 grams. Then, as I said, 6 grams of yeast will do this work, which I explained, that it will get activated and release carbon dioxide in our dough, which will form that strength and structure in our dough and give softness also. Then I have salt. It will help in controlling the carbon dioxide formation or fermentation of dough and also give a good taste to our dough. So first, what we will do is take lukewarm milk, add sugar in it, and then we will add yeast in it. So yeast can start to get activated. What actually gets activated means yeast starts to eat on sugar, and in warm environment it gets easily activated. So it will start to release carbon dioxide gas. As soon as it starts to get activated, you cannot watch that process, but it's a standard that when it starts to get thicken up, your yeast gets to get bloomed a little bit, and you can see that it has started to bubble up. Your mixture starts to get bubble up. That means your yeast has started to get activated. But make sure that milk is not too hot or too cold, or else yeast will take too much time, or if it's too hot, it will never get activated. It will die on its own. So we will take lukewarm milk, added sugar, and then yeast in it, and we will let it sit for some time. Until its yeast gets activated, we will keep it aside, and we will take flour in our big bowl. Then add salt to it and mix it properly. Now in this dough, I will be binding complete dough with milk, so it will be more soft and it will have that domino style texture where it's crispier from the outside, soft from inside, and that it will also be cheesy and creamy from the filling itself. So I will completely bind the dough with milk only, but first we will use yeast activated milk. Then whatever the amount of milk will be required, we will keep adding on it until the gluten formation is completely done. So we'll wait for 2 to 3 minutes until our yeast gets activated. Here I have used dry yeast. You can also use fresh yeast, but fresh yeast needs to be completely stored in refrigerator to keep it cold, so it doesn't get activated in warm temperatures and does not get spoiled quickly. So you need to store it in refrigerator, and it's bit of hassle to store and handle fresh yeast. So you can go for the dry yeast. It will be very easy to handle it, and it will get activated also in similar way as we use fresh yeast. So now I will start making dough. First I will take a complete mixture of our yeast. In bread recipes, measurements are must, so I have also mentioned all measurements in the pinned comments, so don't forget to check that out. Now we will slowly start binding it together. We will add oil at very last once our dough is properly formed and gluten has been activated. If you want to bind it with water, you can surely go for the same. You will still have soft dough, but with milk it's more soft and more rich in taste. So I prefer milk while making my Domino style cheesy garlic bread. If you have any doubts regarding this dough or the healthy bread dough which we made, feel free to comment down. I will reply to all of them, so you have clear picture on how to make dough and get perfect results every single time. Make sure we have to make soft dough but not too sticky, or else you will not be able to give proper filling inside it. I would recommend, if you want to use warm milk, you can use warm milk to bind the dough, because what it will do is it will help in the quick activation of yeast, and it will rise quickly, so the fermentation time gets also reduced. Same with the water. If you want to make it with water, you can just make a little lukewarm water and bind the dough with lukewarm water. The dough has started to come together. Once it completely gets binded, we will take it on the marble table and knead it properly to form the gluten. Okay, so see, the dough has completely come together. Now we will knead it properly so the gluten is formed, and then we will add our oil in it. Stretch and pull. This is the basic method to obtain gluten easily and quickly. If you feel there is a need for small amount of milk or water, you can feel free to add it in it. One more thing, that milk or water may be required in different quantities from the recipes. So the standard amount will be required. For example, if I have mentioned 150 ml of the milk, then it will be required in the dough. But many at different places, the absorption of the flour is different. So some flour take more amount of liquid ingredients to bind the dough. Some might require less. So make sure to add it slowly, so you don't make your dough very wet or very dry. So it's not fixed. If you think that there is requirement of the liquid ingredients, then feel free to add it. From this one we can see that my dough is requiring more liquid ingredients from the basic recipe. So we will add it until we get smooth and soft bread dough. It's stretchy, but still the gluten is not formed because the bread is dough is breaking from the middle. So we will still knead it for some time. For the 300 amount of flour, you will need to knead it for 8 to 10 minutes. If you are wondering that why don't we add fat or oil before binding the dough or forming the gluten, because gluten is mostly formed with the liquid ingredients such as water and milk. Fats are to make that gluten soft and moist. So it's after the formation of the gluten we add fats into it. See, the dough has started to come together and it's becoming more stretchy also. Elasticy dough is formed. You can see when I stretch it, it doesn't break too much. Just 1 or 2 minutes of kneading and our dough will be ready. Now our dough has all come together and now it's proper elasticy and stretchy. So let me show you the gluten formation happen on this dough. We'll keep this dough soft, so we have that crispy texture on the outside and soft bread inside. Take small amount of dough, make a ball of it, and then we will stretch it. You can see this web-like structure happening. That's your gluten. It will not break. It will keep on pulling. It will get thin, but you can see the structure. Now we will add our fat in it. So we will spread it and slowly add our oil in it. You can add butter as well, but for this specific recipe I prefer oil so that it stays more soft and moist for a longer period of time. It will take 2 to 3 minutes for 300 grams of dough. The amount of binding gets reduced when the amount of flour is less, and amount of binding gets increased as the amount of flour increases. So that's why it is always recommended that if you go beyond 500 grams of flour, you use machine so it gets easier for you to bind it. See how slowly the oil has been incorporated into the dough. Now let's make a soft ball, lock it, and put it for the fermentation. Then just lock it like this way. Or you can lock it with both of your hands. And then you can put it for the fermentation. I will just grease the bowl for a little bit with oil so it doesn't stick to the sides. And then we will put our dough for fermentation. Same way as we did for the multigrain bread, put a thin cloth over it and spray some water on it so your dough doesn't get too dry when it gets fermented. Now our both doughs are into fermentation process. By then, I want to teach you one unique different recipe which we will use for stuffing in our cheesy garlic bread. We will make authentic cheesy garlic bread just like Domino's, but also I will teach you one spicy veggie filling. So let's dive into that recipe. Though this is a baking channel, today I am going to teach you a very simple recipe of spiced veggies, which you can use to fill your breads, or you can make stuffed buns, or at the place if you don't want to make cheesy garlic bread, you can stuff it with this filling as well, and it will be surely a hit. So let me show you what all ingredients I am going to use to make these spiced veggies. First, I will be using chopped onions. I have chopped it with the chopper which I have showed you in the Amazon Live. Then there is bell peppers, then chopped tomatoes, oil for sauteing, Szechuan sauce, and a tablespoon of mayonnaise to give that creamy texture, and then we will season it with salt and black pepper. So let's start seasoning our veggies. First take oil and let oil become hot, and then we will add our onions. If you want to add minced garlic, you can add it, but as I'm going to stuff it into the garlic bread itself, so I'm not adding garlic in this filling. But if you want to generally use this filling for stuffed buns, you can start by adding garlic in it. Here, oil is turned hot. Now let's add onions. It would be a little different experience, as I have always been sharing recipes related to cakes, chocolates, tarts, cookies, but this is something very spicy. Do let me know if you like this one. Until the onions get sauteed, let me tell you a quick story about my journey. First, I was professionally getting trained in hot kitchen. I was always keen into working in hot kitchens, make gravies, sauces. But eventually, during my training at ITC Grand Chola, Chennai, I was put into the different department. I was put into bakery for first 2 months. So I got the exposure to different types of pastries, chocolates, cookies, and then eventually my interest grew into that, and I changed my whole profession and studied it properly and completed my graduation and pursued my baking journey. And today you can see me as a chocolatier and pastry chef. But for sure, I have some love stored in my heart for this hot kitchen. And trust me, I am really good with hot kitchen as well. I would surely like to sometime do a big buffet and invite you all guys. Our onions have started to caramelize. We'll saute it until it's golden brown. You can see our onions have started to caramelize and turn a little bit golden brown. At this stage, I will add Szechuan sauce into it. I always prefer Szechuan chutney or sauce made at home because it is always strong and crunchier in taste and it's more delicious than compared to market one. Do let me know if you would like to see a recipe on that as well. Now I will add chopped tomatoes. It will release some juices, so it will be more moist and tender. And you will have that little bit of tanginess from these tomatoes. I'm not gonna completely cook it because I want that little bit biting feel when we have this stuffed bread. So now I'm just gonna add bell peppers in it and just cook it for 1 or 2 minutes and then turn off the heat because bell peppers doesn't need too much of cooking. So just 2 minutes until it turns bright green color. Okay, you can see our bell peppers has cooked. It has turned bright green color. Now we will turn off the heat. Add our mayonnaise. It's completely optional. If you want to skip it, you can surely skip this one. You can also add 1 tablespoon of cream cheese and mix it in hot mixture. It will also give a creamy taste. Mix it properly. See how creamy it looks. Now we will balance the seasoning by adding some salt and black pepper. Now we will mix it well and our filling is ready. You can see how delicious this looks. Our spiced veggies are getting cooled down. By then our doughs are fermented. So let's knock it down and put it for second fermentation in its mold. Now our multigrain bread dough is fermented. It will not ferment like which we see for the all-purpose flour, or the also whole wheat flour bread also rises more, but because of the ragi and oats there will be little less fermentation, but trust me, it will be properly fermented and you will have good structure from inside. So let's just break it. Let me show it to you. You can see there is proper formation of gluten and dough has also properly rised and fermented. Now we will again knead it and put it in our mold. We will be making a loaf today. So first let's gently roll it. Lock it from the bottom. You can see it's locked, and we will roll it little bit to put it in our loaf tin. Here I have loaf tin which I showed you in Amazon Live. So you can just this loaf tin, take your rolled dough and put it in the center. Just wobble it little so it gets properly settled in the mold. See, it's properly set. Now it's time for the second fermentation. We will leave it again for around 30 to 45 minutes until it again rises up and covers the mold. Now it's time for our Domino style cheesy garlic bread dough time. You can see it has been almost doubled to tripled in size because it has properly fermented, and once you see this doubling or tripling in the size, you know that your dough was properly kneaded, it has proper gluten formation, and it has also fermented properly. So now let's knock it down. You can see the gluten formation, how beautiful it looks. Slowly take this out and we will knead it again. Now for this dough, what you can do is you can divide it again into a loaf pen size and put it in loaf pen, or you can make small balls of it and make buns from it, and or else you can divide it into equal parts and keep it ready to be used as cheesy garlic bread. So currently I am keeping it over here until our filling is ready, and then I will divide it into portion and directly roll it, put our filling and keep it for 10 to 15 minutes and directly bake it. So here we will just again knock down and put it aside for some time, and then we will start rolling and filling our Domino style cheesy garlic bread. Now you can see our second fermentation is also done for our multigrain bread. So now we will just brush some milk on it and sprinkle some oats on it, and then we will put it into baking. Now you can see it has risen this much in the height. Once we will put into the baking, again it will rise another 15 to 20%, and then it will completely be set and your loaf will be ready. So here I have milk. If you are using egg, you can use egg wash as well. Make sure you use very light hands and not disturb the fermentation of the loaf. Once soaked, I will sprinkle some oats. Now we will bake it at our preheated oven. We will need to bake it from the bottom and top evenly, so we will bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for around 35 to 40 minutes depending upon the size of your loaf. For this smaller version, I will probably need around 20 to 25 minutes only. Now we will start working with our creamy cheesy garlic bread. For that, here I have taken mozzarella cheese, butter, garlic and mayonnaise. Mayonnaise will give a creamy texture inside our garlic bread. We will mix garlic and butter together and brush it on our bread, and mozzarella cheese for that cheesy pull you enjoy in Domino's pizza. So now let's start by making our garlic butter first. Take room temperature butter and add minced garlic. You can use chopped garlic as well. Add complete garlic and mix it together. It is recommended to use room temperature butter because it will melt and give that more buttery texture to our bread. If you use melted butter, it might not get absorbed properly and your garlic may slip down. Okay, you can see our garlic butter is ready. If you want to add minced parsley, mint, you can add it in this one as well. But here we will just keep normal garlic butter and we will put it aside and start with our dough. You can see our dough has risen again. Now it has also got second fermentation. Now we will directly roll it and do our filling. Knead it little bit. Now I will divide it into 100-gram balls. So I will use weighing scale so I get equal size of balls every time. We don't want this to be too thick because if there will be more bread, then there would be less creaminess and cheesy pull you will feel. So we'll make thin bread and do the filling. Once weighed, we will make rolls of it. Lock it from bottom. Do same with all the balls, then we will roll it. see it gets locked already. Now dust some flour. And start rolling. Once it is evenly rolled, we will transfer it to baking tray. Now we will apply our garlic butter on it. If you are working in air conditioning room and if your butter sets, then you can put it in microwave for 10 to 15 seconds. So it's again in brushable consistency. Now I will put mayonnaise on one half. You can say this is kind of a secret ingredient to that creamy filling inside your garlic bread. And now a lot of mozzarella cheese. You can also use processed cheese to get that more stretchy effect, but I like to just add mozzarella cheese to it. Now with help of water, seal the edges. Now if you want, you can trim the edges. Make sure it's completely sealed. Then with help of knife, make incisions. Apply your garlic butter again on top. Put it in microwave for 10 to 15 seconds because of air conditioning. It has got too stiff. Now we will sprinkle some oregano and red chili flakes. Generally, I suggest people to sprinkle red chili flakes and oregano once the products are baked, but in this one we will do it because it will give distinct flavor to your bread. It will flavors will be and aroma will be absorbed, and also we will again sprinkle it once it is baked, so it will give color and taste to it. Now we will keep it aside for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we will bake it at 200 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 15 minutes depending upon the size of your bread. You can see how delicious this looks. Now I will show you how to make that stuffed veggies one. Here I have rolled another one, and we will again apply a small amount of garlic butter on it. Then we will take our filling which we made and put it on one side of the rolled bread. Make sure you don't overfill it, or filling might come out or your bread will not be sealed properly. Now with filling, I like to add some cheese on it. So let's add some mozzarella cheese. Now with help of water, we will seal it. Make sure it's properly sealed. Then we will give incisions. And then apply our garlic butter again. Sprinkle some oregano and red chili flakes. Doesn't it look delicious? We will again wait for 5 to 10 minutes for this one as well and bake it at 200 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 15 minutes depending upon the size of the bread. Here our cheesy garlic bread is ready. Now it's time to cut it open. You can see how beautiful this looks. Now let's see the cheesy pull from inside. See how creamy and cheesy this is. If you use more of the processed cheese, you will have that cheesy pull as well. But trust me, this is the most delicious, creamy and cheesy garlic bread. Do try this at your home and let me know what do you think about this. This is our veggies stuffed garlic bread. Let's cut it open. You can see how delicious this looks. Cheesy with loaded veggies. Our multigrain bread loaf is ready and baked properly. It has cooled down. Now we will unmold it and slice it. You can see after baking also it has rised little bit. So it has rised 3 different times. One with the first fermentation, then we knocked it down. Then when we put it in the mold, it rised again, and then after baking, while baking, it also rised again. So it almost rised 3 times. Now let's cut it. You must have seen this slicer in the Amazon Live which I showed you. Now let's put it into work. Let's slice it from the slicer. First I will like to have this thin slice. You can see the fermentation has taken place properly. There is proper fine crumb on the bread. It's completely healthy, made with whole wheat flour, ragi, oats, and we didn't use sugar. We used honey in place for the sweetness. So it's a healthy bread and with very good quality. You can see there is a sponginess also, so you will not have dry mouth when you will eat it. Let's slice few more pieces. I will just turn it because I am righty and it will be more comfortable for me to cut it from this side. Okay, as I showed you earlier, I am showing it to you again. You can put the blade from both the sides, slide it in, and slice it. Whatever thickness you want, you can slice it. Currently, I am going to do a thin slice, so you know the strength of the crumb of this bread. You can see it's properly baked, it's spongy as well, and a fine crumb of healthy bread. So I hope you will try this recipe and have healthy bread at your home with different types of veggies and make sandwich from it. I know this was a lengthy workshop, but I'm sure you would have enjoyed every bit of it. Do try this recipe at your home and tag me on any of the social media. I would really like to hear from you guys. All the recipes are mentioned in pinned comment, and if you have any queries related to the recipes, feel free to comment down. I will reply to all of them, so you don't have any queries related to Bread Workshop.